Now, how do we make our money make money? The shit people really care about now. Yeah. Let's get to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah. So there's so much. There's obviously so much going into it. I'm going to keep it pretty high level as best I can. I think one way we actually break up some of our clients that helps tell the story a little bit better and how to grow money long term. This is an analogy I think I mentioned to you before, is the four drawers analogy. Really think of it like a dresser in your own home. Like, we don't have all our clothes in one drawer because for different seasons, if it's summer, spring, winter, things like that. I know some parts of the country it's a little bit different. They may not have all seasons, but for us, we'll experience that. Mm-hmm. Your money's the same exact way. We're going to have money for different points in your life. So I share with clients, depending on when you want to spend your money, that's where you should be saving it location-wise. Okay? So drawer one is any goals you have within a 0 to 2 year window, keep it in cash. Not necessarily cash itself, but cash like alternatives. If it's going to be savings accounts, high yield savings accounts, money markets, CDs, anything that's liquid available. So if anything does go wrong, you have money right away. Because the market's crazy, it goes all over the place. It's going to be positive 4 out of every 5 years. Statistically, I don't know when that year's going to be. No one knows when that year is going to be. We have indications of when it could be, but no one truly ever knows. So I don't want to invest someone's money in the market. Say they want to put 10 grand in the market right now, and we're going to use it to buy a car in a year and a half, hoping it'll get to like 15, 20, but in reality it then drops down to like 4. It's like, sorry, bud. Yeah. We don't want to look for anything short like in those situations. So you have like money market accounts are similar. They're very more similar to high yield savings accounts where a little bit higher of interest rate, around 3-4% around where it is compared to like the 0.1 or 0.2% from your typical checking account, savings account. Really helpful. Just keep an eye out for sometimes for like high yield savings accounts, you might not be able to get the money out right away like that day. A lot of times like they're like online banks, so it might take a day or two to process it. So having a little bit in a debit card, things like that, or just cash on hand for immediate stuff, keep an eye there.
And on that, just the money market, my dad set me up with that right out of college. He was like, put your money in a money market high yield savings account to get that interest rate. I think mine's like 4.7%. Yeah. You wouldn't say this, but I'll say it because I can. Vio Bank, like Cornerstone Money Market is the one I use. And it's the best thing in the world to, instead of just putting in a savings account where you get that 0.1% back, you're getting 4.34, maybe, like I said, I think mine's 4.7. Like, that's great for something that is not going to go away. It's not an investment that you can lose, right? It's just, that's where all my savings are right now, and it's growing. So I want to hit on that and just kind of give like a real like example that maybe some people can check out.
And even that as well, I love NerdWallet. Nerdwallet.com. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. I send a lot of my clients to there. It's a really great education tool for a lot of clients. They even put out like the best 0% interest rate credit cards. We do balance transfers, best high yield savings accounts. A lot of education on buying a home, down payments, insurance, investing, personal finance, banking, all this stuff. Again, it's not, I'm no affiliation, nothing like that. I just send a lot of my clients through there. It's very, very helpful. So I want to mention that.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit. And then within 2 years, keep that in cash like alternatives, essentially. Any goals you then have for a 2 to 10 year window, 2 to 10 year plus, we want to invest that money for you. Again, the 4.75%, that's also taxed to you. It's taxable income. You probably get a 1099 every year for that. So it's still better than what it may be. But let's see if we can get something higher than that, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15% rate of return. That's where we look at maybe short-term investment accounts, short and mid-term investment accounts. Okay, a lot of folks who invest in the S&P 500. It's a really helpful area, and there's different investments we could go into. Really, really high level. We don't need to go into all the details of it. There are actively managed accounts and more passively managed accounts. Actively managed are more of brokers who are actually trying to beat the market, and passive investments, maybe sometimes they can be index funds or ETFs, or maybe trying to stay in line with the market. There are also a little bit lower fees though for those index funds, ETFs, because no one's actually managing those specifically. But again, they're just trying to stay in line with that one sector, that one market, that one index. while then the more actively managed ones, you may have to pay sales charge with it, and that could be another conversation with the fees associated there. But they're actually trying to outpace the market. Both are very helpful for every client. Again, and every situation is different. In certain situations, I like index funds and ETFs. Simple, cheap, in and out, simple. There's other times where I like actively managing a little bit better. But regardless, though, you can either have that side of it, like a mutual funds style, which is a collection of stocks. I know that term is used pretty commonly. I'm not sure. I know some folks know of it or not. But essentially, it's a basket of different investments. For rather than putting $100 a month into Apple, for example, great company, love Apple, obviously using it right now. If Apple does really well, we're happy. Portfolio's going up. But if Apple goes down, we're pissed because all of our money's in Apple. All of our eggs are in one basket. That's individual trading for individual securities. That's more of like a Robinhood account, Webull, E-Trade account, things like that. But you're just picking and choosing what you want to invest in. Not always the best strategy though, but it can work for certain individuals. Then there's mutual funds. It's a collection of stocks. For the same $100 a month, you can do Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Google, all the big name companies you know. Is buying a portion of everything, because rather than having all our eggs in one basket, Apple can still go down, but we got 1,500 other stocks that are still going up over a long-term basis.
And that's drawer number 2?
That's drawer 2. Yeah, it's drawer 2. More
2 to 10 year.
Yeah, it could be more than 10 years, but anything you don't want to touch the money for more than 2 years.
Right.
Because you don't know if that market's going to go up or down that 1 year. And with that too, it's the investment. There's different asset classes you can invest in. There's 9 different asset classes, some U.S. companies, international, commodities, fixed income. It's important to hit a little bit of all of them. Think of like a baseball team. We can have maybe one, we hit all large cap, big name companies, the Magnificent Seven, the S&P 500. It's really great, but that's one position in that baseball team. Like you can have a really great pitcher, for example. But if you have just a pitcher and a catcher, for example, we have nobody in the field, they could probably have a no-hitter like 2 or 3 or 4 times maybe, but like they're probably going to hit at some point and no one's going to be in the field at that point. So you don't need to have all rock stars in every position, but at least as long as you have some diversification, not all your eggs are in one basket, that's what we tell our clients the majority of the time. You want to diversify your dollars as best you can in the investment portion. With that as well, the behavior with investments, the emotional side of investing. That is a very, very big part of the behavioral counseling we challenge clients around. It's an everyday, honestly, it's not even a challenge at this point because we chat with our clients so often around it, is that there's the analytical side and the emotional side of financial planning. There are some folks that look in their investment accounts every single day. Don't. To be very, very simple. Obviously you can, that's certainly okay. But if you're looking for a retirement account that's going to be in 30, 40 years, why do you stress yourself on that? Because over 15-year periods, the market is positive 1 to 100% of the time. For the last 100 years, we've been tracking it, 100 plus years. So we want to take the emotion out of it as much as possible. So we're going to have years when they're up. More times than not, it's going to be positive. There's going to be more times than not the market's going to be positive. But when we have those bad years in the market, a lot of people, they freak out. And they say, hey, I want to sell off all my investments. I don't know what the heck's going on. Like that's when the pandemic happened in 2020 in March. The market dropped 40% in the span of a month, essentially. And people are like, what's going on? Are we going to live? Or let me cash it out. And they took it all at a 40% loss because maybe they didn't have an advisor or just they weren't coached the right way. Not our clients, though.
I bought so much.
And that does literally.
It's free. Like, it's going to come back. So, yeah, when the market goes down, I get happy because that's just a perfect time to buy, especially when, to jump in here, I have investment-wise, most of my invested money is in mutual funds. Yep. In those, solid but high-growth companies like an Apple, like Facebook, like a mutual fund like that, that those companies aren't going to go out of business. So I remember pushing the button and it was like, this feels wrong. Why is everyone not doing this? But yeah, anyways, keep going on that note.
Yeah, I know, and that's the emotional side of it, as you mentioned. Like
Yeah.
when most folks are scared and they ran away, that's the guys like yourself say, "Hey, let's put some money in because you're buying a discount." Like I was big,
Yeah.
my mom was huge on couponing growing up, and like we're not the people to get to like 2 cents or a cent to the end of the day, but if we get $5 off, $10 off, like we'll do that, and that's what it is. Hey, where can we buy it at a discount if we know it's going to be for the long term? So that's one area of it. Again, that's drawer 2. We also have more down when we have those down years in the market, like that drawer 3 real quickly. That's when we're having a non-market correlated asset, dollars outside the market growing for you. That when the investments go down, not if but when, we have a bucket of money we can go to wait that storm out. So let's say when the market went down, you put a bunch of money in. Let's imagine you're in retirement and you need that money. It's like, well, I don't want to sell it at 20-30% loss. We need to have another bucket we can go to, and you might need more than what you have in your savings account. That's for some clients. They'll go to maybe some investment properties. That could be one part that they can go to. Again, maybe have some passive income. Another spot our clients go to is permanent insurance. I mentioned there's different options of permanent insurance. Some are inside the market. A lot that we'll do is outside the market as well, both. But that's a way for some dollars are going to grow every single year, and then when we take the money out, it's outside the market, live off that for a year or 2 years, tax-free when it's done the right way, again, done the right way, and then we can just pay that back if we want to. If we don't want to, we don't have to. It's taken off from the death benefit at the end of the day, but it's just a way that we don't want to be forced to sell investments at a loss. So having just a long-term safe dollars are going to outperform the money market account, the CD account, things like that. Again, very, very helpful, but that can grow a little more for you, but also be more tax efficient. So again, that's one bucket in that drawer 3 that to really complement not if, but when the investments go down. We don't want to be forced to sell investments at a loss.
Yeah, they're outside the market investments.
Because most folks, they just want all gas. They want all gas, no brakes, grow, which I like that. I mean, I like growing as much money as I can. But as a financial advisor and true planner, we got to plan for when the best days come, but also when the worst days comes as well. Offensive and defensive planning. I got to be ready for when those bad days happen, so we don't run out of money in retirement. So again, we're not going to have a whole lot of income in that drawer 3, but we have a good chunk of income. So when that time does come, you have more flexibility, more optionality. So you don't have 8 different investment accounts. You got to choose which one I'm going to sell at a loss. It says, no, I have a bucket here outside the market. I'm going to wait this storm out, and then I'll go back to investments afterwards at that time. But that's a little more drawer 3. That's more like a 10-year plus bucket. So as I mentioned before, that permanent insurance, that's more of a 10-year plus bucket. At least 7 years, the very least, but 7 to 10 years, 12, 15 years, and the longer time it has, the more it just compounds growth year over year. But then there's drawer 4. That's retirement. That's where a lot of folks, there's a lot of questions around it. They're not sure what it is. They say, I don't know, I got like some 401k, 403 through B through work, or these crazy numbers, Lars. I don't know what they mean, but they pull out something that's more for retirement specific. Okay, and most of those big companies are working for. 403Bs are not-for-profit corporations. These are maybe like teachers or nurses, again, working for hospitals. There are then 457s. These are more state workers. They're all very, very similar. Think of them as like brothers and sisters. Essentially, you can contribute the same total amount. You can do $23,500 a year as of 2025 into these accounts. Okay. Mm-hmm. With these different accounts, depending on the company you're with, they will either give you a match. Some will, some won't, though. Okay. So what a match is they're essentially giving you free money. Okay. It's a way to incentivize employees to stick around long term, retain employees. One of the benefits they'll give you is say, hey, Brian, we'll either give you a dollar for dollar match. So if you put in 4% of your pay, I'll match you as the employer. I'll give you 4% as well. Thanks for working with us. You're a really great employee. And you do it for all the employees.
4% of my salary?
4% of your salary. Yep. And they also may come into total compensation. So like it could be bonuses and like commissions, things like that too. So 4% of your income. Great question. One of the recommendations right off the bat with almost all clients, take your free money. I just tell you, get the full match, get your free money. I like my free money. If you like your free money, let's take advantage of it as much as possible. Okay. Now determine, so we know just how we're going to contribute to it or the matching style. There's different ways how you can contribute to it.